It was a ghost, a whisper in the night sky. A top-secret prototype, a $3 million experimental drone, was designed for a single mission: to fly alongside an F-22 Raptor and die in its place. Its codename, a D-21 Spectre. Its purpose, to be a decoy, to perfectly mimic the radar signature of a multi-hundred-million-dollar war machine. The Russians nicknamed it the Invisible Sparrow. They knew it existed, a persistent rumor in intelligence reports, but they had never caught it. Until that freezing night in February 2024, when they not only found it, they stole it. What happened next was not a military victory. It was a silent and humiliating digital checkmate, because this little ghost drone, this Spectre, became a Trojan horse. And the one who solved the puzzle wasn't a general in Moscow, but a 23-year-old analyst in a secure basement near Lviv. The question isn't how Russia found it. The question is, what happens when a ghost comes back to haunt you? Let's go back to that night. February 17, 2024. A blinding snowstorm covers the sky over an isolated Russian airbase near Kursk. A US F-22 Raptor, flown by a pilot codenamed Viper, is on a routine reconnaissance mission along the border. But it's not his plane that's catching the attention of Russian radars. It's the Spectre, flying silently 5 kilometers ahead. It's a masterpiece of stealth technology, programmed to appear on enemy screens as a near-atmospheric anomaly. A stray bird, background noise. In a command bunker, Igor Volkov, an S-400 defense system operator, stares at his screen, sipping cold tea. A veteran of thousands of patrols, he has seen thousands of these ghosts. Ephemeral signals his billion-dollar system is designed to ignore. He marks the tiny signal with a routine note: non-critical anomaly, and thinks no more of it. He is confident, complacent. But tonight, something is different. A sudden, violent electromagnetic pulse, an invisible spasm in the atmosphere, fries the Spectre's navigation systems. In his cockpit, Viper sees the connection die. He tries every emergency protocol. Nothing. The little drone is gone. It spirals down, silent, into the vast, white, icy wilderness. On the ground, Russian teams search for a plane that doesn't exist, a phantom that has vanished. The S-400 operator sweeps the area, sees nothing more, and closes the case. The Invisible Sparrow is lost, but it is found, not by a soldier, but by Anatoly, a 65-year-old local hunter. He stumbles upon the wreckage, a piece of futuristic technology half buried in the snow. The shell is broken, but the central core, a metal case the size of a shoebox, is intact. Anatoly, a pragmatic man who has lived his whole life in the shadow of military secrets, doesn't report it. He does what anyone would do to survive. He extracts the case, drags it to his shack, and a few days later, sells it to a scrap dealer in Belgorod for the equivalent of a few months' pension. He has no idea he has just sold the keystone of the Russian communication network for a pittance. The scrap dealer, seeing a strange piece of American debris, lists it for sale on the dark web, hoping to attract a collector of military curiosities. We are now in Lviv. This is Sergei, a 23-year-old analyst. He's not just a hacker, he's the mastermind of a small, elite cyber warfare unit, Unit 74. Their mission: to find a flaw, any flaw, in the Russian army's digital armor. Their breakthrough doesn't come from a satellite intercept, but from an alert on a dark web forum. A Ukrainian intelligence officer discovers the blurry photo of the strange American debris. He forwards it to Unit 74. Sergei understands immediately. This isn't scrap metal. It's the core of a stealth drone. A clandestine operation is launched. The team retrieves the case. For the next 2 weeks, Sergei and his team race against time. What they discover is staggering. The Spectre was not a simple decoy. It was an advanced communications relay station, designed to listen to Russian signals and mimic them to make the decoy more believable. To do this, it had to possess one thing: a digital Rosetta Stone, a universal translator capable of understanding and replicating any Russian military communication protocol. This was the key to everything. The first challenge: bypass the American self-destruct system. The second: decrypt the handshake that linked the drone to the F-22. Finally, the core of the system. Sergei doesn't just crack a code. He learns a language. He maps the syntax, the secret grammar of Russian communications. A crazy, audacious idea begins to form. They weren't just going to learn from this drone, they were going to send it back. Sergei reprograms the chip. He no longer asks it to talk, just to listen to everything. He turns this ghost into a perfect spy. The Spectre is resurrected, and this time it flies for a new master. Sergei's plan is approved at the highest level. They don't need the drone to fly, just its brain. The mission: send the reprogrammed Spectre chip back over Russian-controlled territory. Not as a weapon, but as an ear, a ghost in their own machine. The risk is immense. If the chip is discovered, Russia will understand the extent of its vulnerability. But the potential reward is invaluable. The solution is deceptively simple: a high-altitude surveillance balloon, disguised as a simple weather balloon. In the gondola, nestled between temperature and humidity sensors, is the Spectre's brain. It's powered by a small solar panel, giving it a nearly infinite lifespan in the stratosphere. It will listen silently, collect data, and transmit it via an encrypted satellite link to a secure server in Lviv. The balloon is released. It rises, silent, until it becomes an invisible dot in the night sky. For a month, it drifts, harmless. To Russian radars, it's just another weather anomaly, one more signal they are trained to ignore. But for Sergei, it's a direct line to the enemy's heart. His computer becomes a window into their secret world. The Spectre, from its perch in the stratosphere, does what it was designed for, but for the opposing side. It doesn't just collect data, it identifies every protocol, listens to encrypted conversations, and maps the entire Russian command network. It's a goldmine. It reveals the location of command posts, the routes of supply convoys, troop movements. It identifies the precise location of every S-400 system and every electronic warfare vehicle. Sergei is no longer a hacker. He has become a one-man intelligence agency. He listens to the secrets the Russians thought were inviolable, and he translates them into targets. The invisible sparrow is back, and this time, its whispers are deafening. What happened next was a cascade of devastating low-tech victories. Armed with the Spectre's intelligence, the Ukrainian army began to strike with surgical precision, not with multi-million-dollar missiles, but with modified off-the-shelf drones costing a few $100s each. The first impact was on the S-400s. The Spectre had revealed their blind spots, the gaps in their low-altitude radar coverage. They didn't even try to jam them. They simply sent swarms of small drones flying 50 meters off the ground, completely invisible to a system designed to shoot down bombers at 20,000 meters. The Russian operators in their bunkers saw nothing but empty sky on their screens, while hell was unleashed on their facilities. Next, the command posts. The Spectre had identified the exact frequencies used by Russian commanders. Ukrainian electronic warfare units were able to launch ultra-targeted jamming attacks at the most critical moments, sowing chaos and confusion. A tank commander, surrounded and calling for air support, heard only a deafening static. An officer trying to coordinate a retreat was met with a deadline. It was psychological warfare. Finally, the supply lines. The Spectre's data showed the routes, schedules, and vulnerable points of every supply convoy. Small, agile Ukrainian assault teams didn't need to destroy the entire convoy. Just the lead truck on a narrow road, paralyzing the entire line for hours. It was like severing an army's arteries. Without fuel, without ammunition, the Russian advance ground to a halt. Russia, in its arrogance, never looked for the problem internally. They blamed NATO, satellites, secret weapons, everything but their own complacency. The generals in their bunkers couldn't understand how a less-equipped enemy was outsmarting them at every turn. They never imagined that the ghost they had let fall from the sky, that simple sparrow, had been turned against them. The spy was already in the house, and they were the ones who had opened the door. Here at Ocean Alert, we explore the tactics, technology, and turning points that shape modern conflicts. Real analysis, real implications, no filter. Subscribe if you want to understand what's really at stake on the front lines. The question we leave you with today is this: in a world where a single chip can be worth more than an armored division, who really wins the war? The strongest or the smartest? Let us know what you think in the comments. And of course, stay Ocean Alert.